Hey, this is Groovey. I'm here with Scorpio Steele here at Breckenridge Brewery. We are talking about all this other cool stuff, Comic-Con, illustrating comic books. How are you, sir?
I'm good. How are you, Groovy?
Freaking awesome. This whole day has been amazing. Yes.
Yes.
Yes. You know where it comes from?
Yes. Missing a hand.
Yeah, exactly. A little chainsaw action.
Yeah. Haven't seen the new one.
I'm stoked to see it, though.
Yeah. I don't know. We'll see.
Yeah, well, it's yeah, you never know. But let's talk about your work here, man.
Okay.
If someone doesn't know what you do, tell me all about it.
Well, I draw comic books, and I am a freelance illustrator at large. Yes, I am.
Is there a warrant out for you or anything?
Not in this state.
Good.
Well, yeah, that's what I do. Pretty much just anything that needs to be drawn, I will draw it for you as long as you pay me. So, artistic mercenary at large.
That's pretty cool. Is that on your business card?
No, but it should be. I need to make some new cards. I like to make a new card each time I run out so you can collect them all like trading cards.
That's cool.
So there's like a limited number of each edition of cards, but anyway.
So tell me about some of your work here, sir.
Well, I might as well go in chronological order.
Let's do it.
Well, like a few years ago, when I decided to go freelance, I'm one of the few people who actually quit their day job to pursue art. I was just working graphic design, video store jobs, just jobs. I just got tired of it, so I quit my day job, spent about a year trying to get it all together, and then finally started getting some work coming in. So some of the first work that started coming in was I did a little bit of assistant inking on some Marvel comics, like this Beta Ray Bill comic. I helped ink it with Stefano Gaudiano. So mainly I did a lot of backgrounds. I did, where is it? There's Wolverine back in blue. Well, where's the Galactus page? Well, there's a page of Galactus in here. It's pretty good. And there it is. But yeah, that was the most fun one to do because I just got to ink a picture of Galactus. These are pencils by Dan Brereton. Okay. He's known like for what's called the Nocturnals and a bunch of other stuff. So that's Beta Ray Bill, Secret Invasion Aftermath, The Green of Eden. And then when the Iron Man 2 movie came out, I did some more backgrounds on this Iron Man 2 comic. Never sure if I'm going to be actually credited. Sometimes I'm credited with like a special thanks. So what I'll do is, like, a lot of times the backgrounds are not really fully fleshed out. Okay. And they become what's called finishes, which is a little different than inks because you're actually doing some drawing yourself. So what I'll try to do is I'll hide myself in the background, kind of like Alfred Hitchcock style, just like prove I was there, like on this one they forgot to credit me, so I was like, this one they did, but yeah.
So that's you back there.
Yeah, that's me, like, looking surprised right there.
I'm surprised I didn't get credited.
Yeah, exactly. Well, like, I did this drawing at, I worked on this at Lila European Cafe, downtown Denver.
Not to stop you or anything. I've always thought that is the most uncomfortable position in the history of the world.
Totally.
Yeah,
I didn't draw it. It's just inking. The inks in this one were, like, over, I think, Ron Lim it was. But anyway, that's what I started off doing, and then like my main job is I co-write and I draw this comic, this educational science comic called The Adventures of Mr Tompkins. And Mr Tompkins is this everyman type bank clerk who's interested in science. So he goes to a lecture on science, he falls asleep, and then dreams that he's like learning from these famous scientists of old. So this is the first volume where he learns from Einstein, Ernest Rutherford, who is like considered like the father of the atom, came up with the whole notion of the solar system idea of how like the electron orbits the proton and everything. Right. Then Marie Curie, Madame Curie, who was actually born on my birthday, so kind of appropriate. But volume 2 is my favorite. Has this pretty cool Charles Darwin story, and my client, this is actually a character that's been around since like the 1930s.
Oh, really?
It was created by George Gamow, who was a famous theoretical physicist, came up with like idea of quantum tunneling. It was instrumental in physics that eventually led to the splitting of the atom. He helped come up with the idea of codons and DNA coding. But his son is who hired me to do this comic because his dad had created this character back in 1937. And, you know, a lot of time's gone by, it's a new age, let's put it in comic books. So my client, Igor Gamow, he gives me an initial script, and then I go over it and I like rewrite it so into like comic book form, do pretty much the majority of the scientific research on it. I'm no scientist, so it takes me a while. So I have to learn how to learn the science concepts in order to disseminate it to other people.
So we can quiz you right now.
I knew it a couple years ago, so then it's like dumped. Just like back in school, I was good on tests, you know. But you know, once test is done, there it goes, because I'm not going to use it. So, but most of it all takes place in Mr. Tompkins' dream. So that was like the original format back in the 30s. Things have changed since then. Like the whole dream sequence thing is kind of frowned on. So I figured, well, the only way to make that palatable to a new audience is like make it like David Lynchian, because you know something's in a dream in a David Lynch movie, but you don't care because it's weird. So I just try to make things weird. So just weird as possible within the framework that I can do. So my favorite one is Darwin in here, but this is volume 2. First one's physics. Second one is biology. This one's Darwin, Gregor Mendel, and Watson and Crick. Just came up with the model of DNA, the double helix of the DNA. So, you know, I get paid to learn, which is one of the cool things about it. So that's actually my primary day job. Let's see.
So when's the next one coming out on these?
I just finished one about a month ago. Each of these has 3 stories in it. Recently, we've split them up into 3 separate single-issue comics. So those are also available. They're all available right now through Amazon.com or at the moment at Time Warp Comics in Boulder. So there's 3 stories in each of these. I just finished Aristotle, and he has his own self-contained comic in there. Wow. The idea is Aristotle was the first biologist pretty much who systematically was just interested in things and systematically studied things, dissected things, whether they be animals or ideas. Like he's the first one to recognize that a dolphin is not a fish. He still called it a fish, but it wasn't a fish like a fish, like a shark or something. Right. So he noticed that dolphins and whales the word mammal didn't exist yet. So, but like he came up with that idea. He was the first to recognize that an octopus reproduces with a special tentacle, which basically,
I know about that special tentacle.
Before I started learning this stuff, I'd never understood tentacle porn. You know, it's like, so now it all makes sense to me. But that's not that I know much about that.
I don't even know what that means.
That's probably a good thing. So anyway, the Aristotle just got done. He meets Aristotle back in the ancient times. I've been drinking. I'm not going to tell you their exact century because I've already forgotten.
It's fine. You get a B.
Okay, as long as
maybe a B minus.
That's passing. So the other things I work on is band shirts. There's a local band heavy metal band called Gomorrah, and they're actually playing a couple shows. I'm like their band artist at this point, but
that's cool.
They're playing a couple shows. One's on March 27th at 7 Circle with Witch Haven and Ex Mortis.
March 27th is my birthday, so I will be there. Whoa!
And then April 4th, they're going to do a show at the church. called Desecrating the Church. So I did this. I should do it a more death metal.
Yeah, could you get to do better?
The church.
So I did their their shirt, and I did their record cover. I haven't gotten a copy of their cover yet, but record cover yet. But the cover, I think it's called "This Time Means War" or "This Means War" or something like that. So check them out. Do movie pitch posters. Did this one for this movie, currently being Indiegogo, which is like Kickstarter but different. They've got something going right now. It's like a 1970s-ish action movie. They're actually going to shoot it on 8mm because 16mm is too expensive to process. So they're going to make it look old by actually shooting it on Super 8 and then transferring it to digital video. So it's going to actually look like an old 70s.
They found something like old unused film in Roger Corman's basement or something.
Something like that, yeah. And the main actress is A. Diamond Baker, who you talked to recently.
Very nice.
I've not actually met her yet. She actually plays Scorpio. So it's like I really want to meet her for obvious reasons. And Scorpio, hi, I'm Scorpio. It's nice to meet you, Scorpio. You know, and it actually takes place in Steel City, believe it or not.
No way.
So, and the way I got this this job was the guys that came by my booth at Denver Comic-Con last year, and they saw this poster, which is another like 1970s like throwback type thing. So this is actually a character, and Madame Brigitte is a character in this comic I'm working on called The Yesterday After All This Time. But she's a character. She's related to this character. She's like the wife of this character, Le Zombie. And Le Zombie, he's like this part of the comic takes place in early 20th century Haiti when Haiti was. Wow. I got the peanut gallery cracked up. That's pretty good. Keep it going.
That is a story right here.
Yeah, Le Zombie, he's a Haitian freedom fighter fighting the United States Marines' occupation of Haiti, which was something that actually happened during World War I, because that area was thought they were afraid that might be like a submarine base area, so the United States went down there, and there's a bunch of other reasons they were there. But so he's kind of like a version of like the Shadow, the Phantom, the Spirit, you know, the dead who walks, the guy who died and came back to life. But so yeah, I did this in like a 1920s old silent movie poster style. So it's like the comic's a time traveling story where it takes place on a million different time periods, and 1920s, 30s, Hades one time period. The other time period is like 1960s, early 70s, and the main characters, a little bit of backstory. During World War II, some event happens that changes the course of the war, so it ended sooner than it did in like our reality. Okay. Which leads to this happening: a Walmart-like corporation, a Disney-like corporation, and the United States all merge into one big organism called the Incorporated States of Allmartica, and so therefore the entire culture is involved in like consumerism, selling things, name brands, things like that. This could never happen.
So it's basically like a fact-based present.
This could never happen.
It's basically it's a documentary of right now.
Exactly. So anyway, this is my little sampler comic that I was selling at Denver Comic-Con last year. I'll have some more of them. I've been working on this graphic novel for about years and years and years. So this is a 12-page sampler, but it's got a bunch of different art styles because I just get tired of drawing the same way all the time. Sure. So you've got like, this is actually just part of like a drug trip, time travel, sex magic ritual sequence here.
Well, my camera crew is gonna love that.
Yeah. So there's nothing like anyone under 17 can't see in this little sampler, but yeah, I try to do things and like make it look like it's actually from the 1950s or 60s, and I work. I try to. It's a mixture of hand drawn and digital. I do the digital because that's pretty much the only way to actually recreate the way things used to look. If I could afford it, I'd print it on like old newsprint and old printers, and that's just a pain, you know, so you just kind of got to mimic it. So we got a story here. This part deals with like some Judeo-Christian mythology / religion. We got some fake ads.
So cool.
These fake ads are to act as like, instead of the characters groovy, like explaining everything to each other like they always do in movies and TV, they're just explaining the whole plot to you. In the narrative itself, people just go about their business, but if you want to learn the backstory, you can just read the fake ads and it'll fill you in. So like this is like a parody of an old save your hair ad, like if your hair was falling out. This is from the 1940s. This one's a parody of old Hostess, Twinkies, fruit pie ad, but this takes place in like the 5th century AD and like Arthurian Britain. Yeah. So based on old Arthurian legend, you got your martial arts ad here.
So you got the little brine shrimp things. I can't think of the name of them right now.
No sea monkeys yet.
Sea monkeys.
Yeah. Yeah, it's like, and people always say, you should do the Charles Atlas ad. It's like I would like to, but it's like the most over-parodied one, but it's a good one. So we'll see if I get to it. But this was the martial arts ones, Kalaru Payatu. It's a South Indian martial art whose proponents say it was like the original martial art that went to China and became Shaolin and everything. I don't know, but I got pretty interested in that because I wanted to have some Indian stuff in it.
It's only $6,000.
Well, yeah, $6,000 though, but this is like 1960s $6,000 because it's, you know, it takes place back then. So, you know, like seems cheap, but inflation. But you also, you know, along with this, you get how to make love to a goddess and increase your hidden powers of consciousness, as well as time travel using your own memories. Fellows, did you know that you have untapped resources within you that let you transform sexual energy into a purification of mind and body, and also awaken and harness latent powers of consciousness? It's called Mithuna. Why have, quote, plain Jane, unquote, sexual congress when you and your loved one can become God and Goddess entwined in ecstatic spiritual creativity? Become Shiva to your honey's Shakti and create wondrous bliss for the both of you. At no extra charge, you will learn this bonus skill when you train with Gurukul Jaya. That means Master Jaya in like Sanskrit or whatever, Hindi. Available only to applicants over 17, of course.
Of course.
Then I've got this like section that's like old Archie comic. Just get bored, drawn the same way. There's that image again. Tyr, God of War.
This is so badass, by the way. This is like
Thank you.
seriously freaking cool.
Yeah, that's my little symbol. It's got a little magical meaning to it. I can't tell you, or else things would go awry. What else do I got? Yeah, so I'm gonna have a booth at Denver Comic Con, selling all these prints here. This is like my version of Doctor Who. It's like this was a part of Warren Ellis's website. Warren Ellis is a comic book writer. He had not really a contest, but just what would the last Doctor Who be like? So like the 13th Doctor. So
And he let the dogs out.
yeah, who let the dogs out?
Now we know.
So yeah, you got your K9. He's got Dalek boots. He's got a Cyberman belt buckle, and his crotch is labeled with UNIT, which was like the secret task force of Doctor Who.
There is a unit on his unit. I can
But
vouch
the idea is he's working with the same like voodoo god here, which is Baron Samedi, who is like the voodoo god of the cemetery, Baron Samedi to Americans. But since he's like the god of death, basically, that's what the 13th Doctor would be like. He's got tattoos of like the various companions, and there's a TARDIS there. But yeah, I'll be selling all this stuff at Denver Comic Con.
Right on.
I also did. There's like inside the program guide. There's going to be a survival guide for geeks. Geek survival guide for all the attendees. You know, learn how to properly treat guests. You know, what to wear, have some food on you, that kind of thing. So I did an image in that. You can come by and I'll sign that for you. Last year I did the badges. Some of you might still have held on to them, but this year they've got some other great artists doing them. I'm not sure.
Nice.
But yeah, that.
Cool, man. So, like, you yourself, what are you into? What do you geek out to?
Well, the problem with me is like everything I'm actually into, like as a fan, I try to actually go into it like professionally, which so I'm really into like reading about mythology and religion. So I read all that stuff. It goes into my comics too. I recently started running actually.
Really?
Yeah, it's quite impressive. I haven't been able to actually breathe so well since I was 14 years old.
Well, congratulations.
I enjoy going out with friends and drinking, having some rum and cokes, lifting the occasional weight.
Fitness guy.
Not even just metaphorical. Well, you know, if you drink, it's good to get a little exercise.
Oh, sure.
So yeah, I read a lot of comics. I mainly keep the old comics because that's what really inspires me as much. But let's see, what else do I like doing? I like girls.
Starting a dating service.
Yeah.
Well, what would you like in a girl?
Let's see. I want her to.
Be Haitian?
Well, first I want her to really understand where I'm coming from.
Sure.
I want her.
Some really soft music played over.
Yeah. She should be able to have. She should have a really good sense of humor.
Really good sense of humor.
Yeah. A weird sense of humor. Understand that I am a strange person.
I'm a strange person.
Are you? Yeah. It's nice to meet you.
Good to meet you.
Yeah. Let's see. What else should she be? She should have a car, actually, because it gets kind of old sometimes having to pick them up all the time. You know, drive all the way across town. But, you know, that's not, it doesn't have to be there. You know, I don't mind picking them up if they're worth it.
Oh, yeah. You put a little bit in the
But, you know,
relationship.
they should have their own passions and interests and, you know, really challenge me intellectually.
Right.
Right. You know, physical is always nice.
So you want a supermodel who's into everything you do?
I want a supermodel who thinks it's all BS, but who does like quantum physics in her off time.
Girls? And where can people contact you, say website-wise?
Well, my website is www.scorpiosteele.com, which there it is right there.
Dun, 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 dun.
And I also, that's kind of like the museum piece where it's not really editable. So I also have a blog spot, www.scorpiosteele.blogspot.com. And that's where my, like, whatever I do on the spot, that's where it goes. You know, I've got a Facebook account too if you just want to hear my stupid ramblings, and because I sit at home all day and draw, and it gets boring sometimes, so I gotta like type. Oh, this is really important. I need to rant about something.
I've been amused by your rants, by the way.
Thank you very much. I probably like erase like 50% of the ones that I put up there, but that's all right.
You're like, oh shit, I can't actually say this.
Like, oh yeah, people might want to hire me or something.
Right on. Well, I wish you best of luck in art and romance. And at the
Art and romance are the same.
At the Comic-Con. And this dude is badass. I want to see this.
That is Tyr, God of War,
Make it happen.
also known as Tew to the Germans, which our modern Tuesday is named after. Tuesday. So do a lot of fighting on Tuesday.
Start wars on Tuesday.
Yep. All right. Thank you, Groovy.
No, thank you very much, sir.
Nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you. This is Groovy. We're at Breckenridge Brewery. This is Scorpio Steele. Rock on! Do the death metal voice. Actually, do a dating service death metal intro.
Scorpio Steele now accepting applications.
That's about the best I can do at this point.
Chicks will flock to that.
Maybe.
Thank you so much. Bye.
Thank you very much.